Well, I'm going to call the meeting to order, please. And adoption of the agenda for the August 2017 regular meeting, please. Moved by Councillor Blanchette, seconded by Councillor Torgerson. Are there any amendments or? No, hearing none. All in favor? Carried. Agenda item 3.1, adoption of the minutes of the July 25th, 2017 meeting. Recommendation that Council adopts the minute. Councillor Torgerson and Councillor Reimer. Are there any errors or omissions? Hearing none. All in favor? Carried. Agenda item 6.1. And this was moved and carried at the previous board meeting that Valemount Community Forest Corporation Board of Directors are requesting that the following may be added to the August 8, 2017 regular meeting of Council. The VCF Corporation respectfully requests a resolution from Council that supports Valemount Community Forest Company Limited in their application to the Federation of Canadian Municipalities Green Municipal Fund for the purpose of a Phase 2 environment assessment. What is Council's wish? Yes, Councillor. Moved, seconded by Councillors Reimer and Blanchette. Is there any discussion? No, hearing none. All in.
How much are they applying for?
I can speak to that.
Yes.
2 quotes were submitted, and it'll be up to the FCM GMF to decide which quote they're going to entertain.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other further questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Councillor Salt, we are on agenda item number 7. Is there anything that Council wishes to bring forward? Yes, Councillor Reimer?
On the large juniper petition and CEO response, I believe years ago when all of our other streets were paved, money from Columbia Basin Trust was used to pave those streets.
Okay, go ahead.
And I stand corrected if I'm wrong, but I understand that that came out of grant money for those things, and that perhaps that was an ongoing thing. And you know, if we have money in our budget to pave that little piece on Hillside Drive where the bike trails are, to keep the dust down. I believe this perhaps has been an oversight over the years, and perhaps should have been done a long time ago. Just because there's only a few residents here doesn't mean that they're of any less value than anybody else. It is, if that's an actual street, we should put it at least into next year's budget and make sure that we have it saved.
Thank you, Councillor Reimer. Actually, there is no Columbia Basin Trust grant money used for the paving of the streets in Valemount. Bill Sparks was still our administrator. Dave Wilson, Regional District, was the administrator there. And BC Hydro, in lieu of taxes, gave a grant to the Village of Valemount annually. And I was on council as an alderman at the time. Norm McNee was the mayor. And I recall making a motion that all of that grant money be put in reserve for the streets, for paving and for maintenance. I asked our financial officer a year ago if that motion had ever been rescinded, but I still don't have an answer, no reply. And I recall making the motion, and it was seconded, and it was passed for that resolution. And that was all the BC Hydro grants. It was supposed to be put in reserve for street paving. And there were a few grants that were came available from the provincial and federal governments, and we used what we had in reserve to match them by 1/3, and we paved more streets. So all of the streets in Valemount were paved with what came out of the reserves, as well as the BC Hydro grant in lieu of taxes. And I still haven't had a reply from staff as to what happened to that resolution or if it was ever rescinded. However, there are grants coming available every now and then, and I did speak to the financial officer this year, and I said I should like to see that BC Hydro grant going back into reserves for paving our streets here. Okay, so it wasn't Columbia Basin Trust money. Okay, and I'll discuss this further with our CAO when he is back next week. But I feel that they too are taxpayers and therefore should be accommodated the same as everybody else. Yes.
Well, Your Worship, if I may, I'd like to make a motion that this item be put on to next year's budget, and that we find the money to pave this for these few residents that use this. Obviously more than just the residents,
yes.
But that we do that so that it becomes a priority item, and that all of our streets get equal treatment in that respect.
Second.
And so moved by Councillor Reimer and seconded by Councillor Torgerson that Larch and Juniper paving be included in next year's budget. And I should also like staff and our administrator is on the phone to get a reply to my question of a year ago whether or not that resolution we made and passed in 1990 was ever rescinded. Okay, because if a resolution is passed, that money should not be taken out of that reserve without a rescinding of that resolution and making a new one. Okay, so is there any further discussion? All in favor? Carried. Is there anything else that Council wishes to bring forward? Okay. I want to comment on item number 4, Stats Canada reporting human trafficking. And Mrs. Kathy Peters, who is a lead in this province as well as Western Canada, she's said that she has spoken or made over 100 speeches already. She's going to be at UBCM and will be meeting with some of us mayors and other local government representatives. Okay. I know that we were told that organized crime makes more money from human trafficking than it does from drug trafficking, and it's very serious. So, thank you. And agenda item 8.1, temporary use permit. Recommendation that this report be received. Salt and yes, Torgerson.
I have to
okay.
excuse myself, please.
Okay.
Kinnery.
Okay. We'll have somebody call you once this has been looked at. Move to receive this report, please. Blanchette and Reimer, all in favor? Carried. 2, that the draftee temporary use permit 0117 proposing to allow worker accommodation and industrial uses on the following properties as legally described below be given initial approval by council. Okay, Reimer and Blanchette. Is there any discussion on this? All in favor? Carried. And 3, that the public be notified of council's intention to consider final approval of temporary use permit number 0117 at the September 12, 2017 regular meeting of council following a public hearing. Okay, Salt and Reimer. Is there any discussion on this? All in favor? Carried. Agenda item 8.2, I guess we should call in Mr. or Councillor Torgerson. Thank you, Mr. Peters. Okay.
What are you doing? Oh. You're telling me to get out.
Agenda item 8.2, Councillor.
You bet.
Okay, development permits, 0517, 1150 Fifth Avenue. 1, that the report be received. Okay, Blanchette and Torgerson. All in favor? Carried. Agenda item 2, that staff be authorized to prepare development permit 0417 for the property legally described as Lot 5, District Lot 9778, Caribou District Plan, number 35390, to allow the placement of a new gate at the entrance of the outdoor patio and new siding on the building. What is council's wish? Okay, Torgerson? Yeah, and Salt. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. Agenda item 8.3, accounts payable report. Pardon?
Just to follow up on that development permit,
Sorry, okay.
perhaps not at this meeting, but we can bring it up at a more appropriate time or put it in at a more appropriate time. But I recall at the city of Vernon some time ago, in order to relieve staff of these kind of issues of having to prepare this permission thing and bringing it to council. The City of Vernon has an automatic $50,000 limit is $50,000. Anything over $50,000 has to be brought to council. Anything under $50,000, any business in the development permit area has carte blanche permission to go ahead and do their development. They still have to develop in accordance with the building scheme and with everything else. And the building inspector can still, stop any work that isn't in accordance with the bylaws. But it gets rid of these little things, and it allows businesses to carry on just, what's the cost of this? $10,000?
Oh, I think it would be more.
Or 15, whatever it is.
Okay, yeah.
For what?
I think
Maybe they got a good deal on siding. I don't know.
Okay.
We would never know that.
Whatever.
We would never know that,
But
No.
where they're shopping.
Yeah.
but anyway, it's
Well, it would
It's something
make all of the work and permits more efficient, but I would bring that forward when the administrator is back, and perhaps in policies that can be achieved then. I don't know if you want to make a motion now, that this be considered
sure. I'll make the motion.
by the staff when the administrator is back.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, moved by Councillor Reimer, seconded by Councillor Torgerson, that the City of Vernon's policy of anything under $50,000 does not have to come to council for approval, as long as it meets all of the OCP regulations, etc. Okay? Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Yes.
Require, I would like some research done on that policy, just so I can see it
Okay.
brought back maybe for next meeting.
Okay.
Or the meeting after, however suits timelines for staff.
Okay. Okay. So it doesn't have to be at the next meeting, but perhaps the one after. Okay. So with that, do you want to amend the resolution to subject to the staff bringing back
Yeah, subject to
information?
staff timelines and current deadlines.
Thank you. Councillor Reimer, you're all right with that? Okay. You can amend that policy? Okay. All in favor? Carried. And 8.3, accounts payable report. Motion to be received, please. Blanchette and Salt. Is there any discussion or any questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. 8.4, appointment of signing authority. That recommendation is that Silvio Gislimberti be removed as a signing authority for the Village of Valemount, and that Adam Davey be added as a signing authority for the Village of Valemount. Blanchette and Torgerson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. 8.5, UBCM minister meetings. Recommendation that staff be approved to arrange meetings with the following ministers at the UBCM conference in 2017. Minister of Health, Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure, Minister of Energy, Mines and Petroleum Resources, and BC Hydro support for the development. All in favor? Or, sorry, moved? Yes?
Moved.
And seconded? Torgerson. Okay.
Question?
Yes.
Procedural question.
Yes?
Because behind these ministers after your own offices, there is a hyphen which indicates what we want to talk about. Are we
Yes.
limited to talking about only that?
That would be the main topic because they asked that a topic be included. I suppose this is probably for the bureaucracy to look into and be able to bring the minister up to date. And if there is anything else, this is the time to bring it forward.
Okay. So the other issue that over the last few weeks, since we have been the main arterial route, north-south from Highway 16 to Highway 1 and all connecting highways, with the amount of traffic that we've had through here, I think it's very obvious that as we grow, which we will, with all these, with the addition of the resort and with other things, and over the next few years with that, it's obvious that our road, Highway 5, from, say, even from beyond Canoe Campground, I would say at least up to Blackman Road, is not adequate for this kind of volume of traffic. I mean, I watch the traffic, and there's, as soon as some people are over that bridge, they're thinking about passing when it's unsafe to do so. Nobody's aware that there's all kinds of places to turn off where there are no turning lanes because they can't see them. They can't see the businesses or facilities to the right or to the left. And I think we really need to invite the top people of the Ministry of Transportation to the table and start talking about how we're going to deal with improving this corridor of Highway 5. It's crucial before we have more fatal accidents on here.
I was told in the late 80s that this highway from Tijon to Kamloops was scheduled for 2015, twin laning all the way. And plans got changed in Victoria. Okay, yes.
Well, I would respectfully submit as a follow-up that just twinning the highway would not resolve some of the issues. We desperately need to have deceleration and acceleration lanes coming out of all of these places so that you can make safe turns without having traffic impeded, because over the course of time, the regional district has allowed so many more things to develop along that corridor requiring access, and there are no lanes to access these facilities. You're turning from a traffic lane of 90 kilometers an hour or 100, and you're making a left-hand turn across 90 to 100 kilometers an hour, and some are driving faster than that. So it's those kind of things, and if twinning would not be the answer to it. It's the whole process of how do we make this whole corridor safer? And if it takes 5 or 10 years to do that, but we need to start having those serious discussions now.
Councillor Torgerson?
I recently went to and from Vancouver, and between Darfield, and it's outside of our jurisdiction, I get it, but between Darfield and Messiter Summit, I counted 34 opportunities for safety enhancements. And I concur with Councillor Reimer. Decel lanes are probably the most economical ways to improve safety along this corridor. At higher speeds, you have to give an opportunity to be able to slow and make those turns safely.
We met with the Ministry of Highways a few weeks ago, and I think probably the best course to follow is to make notations of where these corrections could be put in, at what kilometer, etc. I complimented the Minister of Highways last year that between McBride and Prince George, there are many signs which say 3 kilometers to the next passing lane, 5 kilometers to the next passing lane, and there's only one that says 16. The rest are all less than that. So anyone who is very anxious to speed and get to where they're going, if they see that it's only a few kilometers to the next passing lane, they'll settle down and wait to get there so that they can do it safely. And I should mention to the minister last year that they should do that on all their highways, and certainly from Tijon to Kamloops, do the same thing. And then it's up to their engineers, I suppose, to look into the deceleration lanes where they should be. And did you make note of them, Councillor?
Mentally.
Good. Well, I hope you put it down on paper.
I have a pretty good eye.
Okay, that's good. And we can always bring it forward to the next time staff from Prince George with Ministry of Highways attends here. And we just give them a map and say, here's where it should go. And let them look into it. Okay. All right, so, yes, Councillor.
It's not the Minister of Health, it's the Minister of Mental Health and Addictions, the Honourable Judy Darcy, that I'd like to see.
Okay, Ms. Shepherd will make that correction. Good. And now, is there anything here that Council wishes to make a motion on? And, you know, we have that staff be approved to arrange meetings with the following ministers at the UBCM conference in September of 2017. Is there anything specific that should be added? Yes, Councillor.
I would like to re-invite the Ministry of Transportation and Infrastructure to do another overview of the Losseth Road turnoff. And if necessary, team up with the regional district, Fraser Fort George, to have a louder voice in this regard.
Thank you, Councillor. I think it's absolutely essential that the regional district be included, okay, because that's outside of our jurisdiction.
And I believe now is the time to be on the agenda for the 3rd week of August. I'd like to make that motion that this particular subject matter be placed on the agenda for regional district.
I think it's too late to put on the regional district agenda. It was, the due date was last week.
It's the 8th today?
The board meeting is a
2
week
weeks.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Just 1 week Thursday, and the cutoff date is would have been last week.
So you won't have an opportunity before UBCM?
Yes, in September.
Oh, you have a regional meeting in September?
Oh, yes.
During UBCM?
Yeah, no, not during, before.
Before, okay.
Prior to, yeah.
Okay.
It's the 3rd Thursday of every month. Okay, so let's deal with this recommendation first, that staff be approved to arrange meetings with the following ministers at the UBCM conference, and Councillor Blanchette and Councillor Reimer. Okay, and then we'll take a resolution after this one.
Very good.
Okay, so is there any further discussion under this recommendation? And we can always bring up another topic. Okay? Okay, all in favor? Carried. Councillor?
I move that the Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure be invited to review or do another overview of the Losseth Road access.
And you want a letter to go to the regional district in Fraser Fort George? Okay.
Yes, please.
And moved or seconded by Councillor Blanchette. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. 8.6, quarterly budget report. Motion, please, to receive it. Okay, Torgerson and Salt. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. 8.7, fall cleanup. Recommendation that the report regarding fall cleanup options be received and that staff be directed to organize a fall cleanup event. Moved by Councillors Blanchette and Torgerson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. 8.8, file and project tracker. Recommendation that the report regarding the file and project tracker be received. Moved by Councillors Torgerson and Blanchette, and it's open for discussion. Yes, Councillor.
I'd like to thank staff for this. This is excellent. It at least helps give us a heads up as to other things that are on their plates, what they're working on, without us disturbing them or interrupting them to get updates on things. So I think this is an excellent addition to our tracking.
Yes. And I want to thank our CAO, Mr. Davey, for preparing this. I think it's an excellent idea too, and is certainly more efficient. Okay? And all in favor? Carried. Agenda item 9.1, bylaws and policies. Permissive tax exemption policy. Recommendation that council continues to exempt 100% of the old senior housing, new senior housing, United Church of Canada, Roman Catholic Bishop, and the New Life Sanctuary 2018 taxes. Okay, move the recommendation, Salt and Blanchette, and it's open for discussion. Mr. Davey, do you have anything that you want to add?
Nothing at this time, Your Worship.
Thank you. Okay, council, open for discussion? Oh, hearing none, all in favor? Carried. And,
Your Worship?
yes,
If it pleases council, for this next recommendation, if we could split the 4 applicants into separate motions, because I'll be in conflict for one,
Okay.
but I would like to speak on another.
okay. All right, so you want to remove the Valemount Curling Club?
Yeah, sure, that would be just fine.
Okay, so we can do that one next. And you will want to stay here for the Valemount Legion, Valemount Lions Club,
And Varda,
and Varda. Okay?
please.
Okay. So recommendation is that council considers a lesser percentage for the Valemount Legion, Valemount Lions Club, and or Varda 2018 taxes. Okay, what is council's wish? Yes, Councillor Torgerson?
I'll move to exempt Varda, the Lions Club, and the Legion 75%.
Okay, you're removing 75%.
Yeah, exempting 75%.
Oh, you're exempting 75%. So, yes, Councillor
Can you
Salt.
repeat that again? Which,
To exempt 75% of the curling club, sorry, the Legion, the Lions, and Varda.
Okay,
Recommendation 1, but without the curling club there.
okay. So you want council to continue to exempt the Valemount Legion, Valemount Lions Club, and Varda 2018 taxes?
Correct.
Okay. Do we have, oh yes, we do. So that would be 4,000. Okay. And you're leaving out Varda again? Sorry?
Legion, Lions, and Varda.
And Varda. Varda has never been exempted previously.
This is their second year.
Oh, I thought they applied last year, but it wasn't passed. Am I correct?
I don't recall.
You don't recall? Okay. So then that would mean 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, about $5,500 in total to the local taxpayers. And council, yes.
Can we have this put on the floor for discussion?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Do we have a seconder for Councillor Torgerson's motion? Okay.
I'll second it.
Okay, seconded by Councillor Reimer. Okay.
I was looking at Varda's paperwork here, and I mean, they have in reserves $99,000. And to be expected to pay for we have a lot of seniors who don't have that. And for the taxpayers to be expected to pay taxes for Varda, I think is unfair.
Thank you. Councillor?
Varda has a lot of infrastructure that could fail at any moment. similar to that of the Valemount Community Forest. Bridges, roadways, trails, all of which are in their partnership agreement with the province, and they don't get anything back from the province in terms of work forms where they're given funds from the province. It's all coming out of VARDA. VARDA also facilitates, I'm not going to put a number on it, but it's in the low millions of tourism, recreation, and spin-offs into our local economy. The Village of Valemount has also played a role in being a platinum-based sponsor when VARDA was right here next door. And I would entertain that the tax exemption of 75% would be a less burden on the Village of Valemount now that they're in their new building than it was when they were in this small, antiquated building.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Any further comments? Are you ready for the question? All in favor of exempting the Valemount Legion, Valemount Lions Club, and VARDA 2018 taxes? Okay, yes, all in favor? Okay, so, and opposed? Councillor, you're abstaining? You're still thinking, okay.
I imagine we're on a tight time frame here. It'd almost be nice to know what that comparative figure for VARDA was as to how much it cost the village for them to be occupying that building next door, what their savings were as far as rent, no taxes paid on that property.
Okay.
As a comparative. I also struggle with, and I appreciate what you said about their infrastructure, but it's actually not even just, it's 99,000 in reserves for this 1 year. They have, like, their actual retained earnings are almost 300,000, I think it is. So that's substantial, and I understand that, and that's where I am struggling, 'cause just knowing how the Curling Club, Legion, Lions Club, you know, they all struggle. They're nonprofit. They have very small balances from what we are able to tell. They all give back to the community as well in different ways through scholarships and bursaries and donations to other organizations. So this is where I'm struggling a little bit with VARDA, and I absolutely appreciate all that they do give to the community as far as bringing economic benefits to the community with the tourism. I'm really struggling with looking at a retained earnings of, here it is, $360,477 that they can't pay, just over $2,000 in property taxes.
I should like to, one thing clarified, with respect to scholarships and bursaries and being charitable to the community. You say VARDA doesn't, but the other three do. Does the Valemount Curling Club as well?
No, I didn't say, sorry, I didn't
Okay.
mean that all
Okay.
other three did.
Okay.
I know that the
Legion and the Lions,
Legion
yes.
do.
Okay,
So,
okay.
Your Worship,
Yes?
VARDA actively sponsors training courses and facilitates training instructors to the Canadian Avalanche Association.
Thank you. Further discussion? No further discussion? Okay, I'll call the question then. All in favor? Okay, opposed? Okay. I'm not sure either. However, I should like to suggest that perhaps council would consider deferring this for the to the next council meeting so that the financial officer and the administrator could bring back more numbers that would satisfy the two councillors who are uncertain. Does council agree with that?
So the motion is defeated then?
Yes. But I should entertain another motion that numbers be brought back to the next council meeting in September so that council is fully aware and has all of the details and can make a really informed decision. Could I have a, yes?
More information, the better, Your Worship. I'll make that motion.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
We have a motion on the floor, we're going to defeat it.
it was defeated.
Okay, you didn't vote, I didn't gather that.
Okay, I voted,
Sorry,
sorry, I should have put my hand up, because I have concerns, I want
you.
the councillors Blanchette and Salt to have all of the information so that they can make an informed decision.
Okay.
Because at this point, they're not certain. And I think it would be better if they are fully informed, and then we can make an informed decision. Okay? Good. So, yes, councillor.
So there's now a motion on the floor
Yes.
to defer it for more information.
Yes, until the next council meeting. Okay? Okay, so that's seconded. All in favor? Carried. Good. Yeah?
I'll move
Yes?
that the Valemount Legion and Valemount Lions Club continue to be 75% exempt.
Okay. Okay. Seconded by councillor Blanchette. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried.
And then I'll step out.
Okay.
Indirect. Comment.
Okay. Thank you. All right, the motion will be then,
Your Worship,
yes?
I'd like to make a motion that Valemount Curling Club be put in the same category as Varda
Okay.
and have more information brought back for the next
Okay.
meeting.
All right. So could I have a seconder for that, please? Councillor Blanchette. Moved by Councillor Reimer and seconded by Councillor Blanchette that more information regarding the Valemount Curling Club be brought back to the next meeting. Is there any discussion on this? No, hearing none. All in favor? Carried. Okay, Councillor Torgerson can come back. Agenda item number 10.1, council reports. I'll start backwards this time. Councillor Torgerson.
On the 2nd, I had a Valemount Community Forest meeting, Board of Directors here in the chambers, and the following day I had a sit down with Mr. Pryor regarding the grant that we were speaking on, grant application, and another meeting with Mr. Pryor and Mr. David Dubois of Fink Machinery.
Thank you. Councillor Salt.
I have nothing to report other than I'm enjoying summer holidays.
Good for you. Councillor Reimer.
I did both meetings on the 27th, on Thursday, a housing committee meeting and VCTV meeting, both on Thursday. It was nice to get both of those out of the way in one day.
Yes.
Doesn't always work out that way. And I did contribute something towards the Valemount Community Forest meeting, even though I was absent. And that's my report.
Thank you.
I have nothing to
We
report.
have nothing to report? Okay.
And Your Worship, if I may add,
Yes.
I had a direct heat use committee meeting on the 26th.
Okay. Well, I had no official meetings representing council, but a lot of meetings in my office with people coming in with private issues and private concerns, etc. And they were all good. So on a motion, please, to receive them. Blanchette and Salt, all in favor? Carried. 12.1. Outstanding council resolutions. Recommendation that the list of outstanding previous council resolutions be received. Blanchette and Torgerson. Any discussions or concerns? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Agenda item 13.1, calendar. 14.1, public comments on items considered by council as part of the approved agenda. Is there anyone who wishes to make comment? Mrs. T.
I would like to go back, Your Worship, to, Christine Torgerson, living here in Valemount many years. And where did I see it? Sorry. Item 8.3, the accounts payable report. Recommendation that the accounts receivable report for July 17th be received. Okay. And also, item 9.1, it is New Life Center, not New Life Sanctuary. Is that okay?
Okay. So Ms. Shepherd will make that correction. Over the years, it was the New Life Sanctuary, and
For many years.
yes, many years, and that's probably still in our records here at the village office. And it used to be that it had to be done by bylaw every year. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. And is there anyone else? Yes.
Mayor Shepherd, 1122 8th Avenue. I just would like to thank council and Your Worship for approval of the taxes and the last time.
Thank you. Okay. If there's no further comment, motion to receive, please. Okay, Salt and Blanchette. All in favor? Carried. Agenda item 15.1, recommendation that council proceeds to an in-camera council meeting for consideration of one item per section 91C of the community charter to discuss matters related to labor relations or other employee relations. Salt and Torgerson. All in favor? Carried. There, not bad.